Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Microfrog, and today we're going to be taking a look at Shadowrun for the Sega Genesis. This is an action RPG developed and published by FASA, who also were the ones who made the tabletop RPG Shadowrun. Now, if you didn't watch the previous Shadowrun video I did for the Super Nintendo, um, Shadowrun is basically like cyberpunk Dungeons and Dragons. It's Dungeons and Dragons with guns and cybernetic implants. But this game is different than the Super Nintendo game, even though they came out around the same time. They're very much different. So you start off, new game. So you have these things called archetypes, which are basically classes. The samurai or the street samurai is your like conventional warrior type class who's good with guns, grenades, and fist fighting, and can soak up a lot of damage. The decker is a hacker. Uh, Deckers can be pretty fast, but they're not as good with um, like physical combat. But they're better than the shaman. And the gator shaman. So in Shadowrun, you have two types of magic users. You have shamans and mages. I'm not gonna get into all the differences between the two, but shamans also have a spirit animal, and they carry an animal totem with them. Uh, your character here is a gator shaman, so his spirit animal is an alligator. We're gonna pick Decker because I want to get to as much of the uh, game, as much of the content as I can during this review. So you play as a character called Joshua. This takes place in Seattle. A group of Shadowrunners are ambushed and slaughtered. One of them was your brother Michael, and you find out the bad news. And so you spend the last amount of money you have, take a helicopter to Seattle to do some detective work, to investigate, figure out what happened to your brother, who killed him. His last transaction was Stoker's Coffin Motel, so that's where you have to go. In Redmond, the area called Redmond Barrens. So, like the Super Nintendo game, this has like its own dialogue box, but it's about dialogue choices rather than learning new subjects to ask people. Here to pick up Michael's stuff. He wants 250 new yen, which you don't have. You're flat broke. So if you hit start, this is your inventory. You have 8 slots. If you pick the Gator Shaman, you only have 7, because one inventory space is taken up by the animal totem he has. It's your weapon, armor. So the damage of the weapon is, if I remember correctly, power is how well a bullet from the gun can penetrate armor, and damage is how much damage it will do once it penetrates the armor. That's your defense stats for the armor down there. How well it can defend against that stuff. medkit, that's how you heal. So you not only have health in this, you have physical health and mental health. And you can take mental health damage from attacks. Certain kinds of attacks do more mental health damage. If either one goes to 0, then you're dead. But the good thing about this game is that if you die, it's not game over. You will be sent off to the nearest clinic or hospital, and you'll be charged a certain amount of money to be brought back to life, basically. Posture. Um, I believe you always want full defense. I don't think. I think offense just mainly has to do with like punching and magic or something like that. Clips is how you see how many clips you have for your gun. They're universal clips, so whatever clips you have can be used for any gun. Your attributes and skills, like the Super Nintendo version, you increase your attributes and skills using karma, but depending on the archetype you picked, you might have a different like max or like ceiling for a certain skill. So if I remember correctly, the samurai can have higher max body compared to the other archetypes. And because I'm a decker, you can have higher intelligence, computer, biotech, electronics. So you want to run through these just to see what they all do. Throwing has to do with grenades. Computer has to do with cyber combat and interacting with certain computers you come across. Biotech has to do with how much you heal from a med kit. Electronics has to do with trying to crack open what's called a maglock, which some doors you come across will have a maglock. And you can either brute force it open by blowing it open with a grenade, or trying to pick it, or buying a mag key, which mag keys have different levels on them, and they can't open doors that are a level higher than the mag key level. Reputation. Reputation only has like just a few uses. It has to do with like how you make progress in the game, and negotiation increases or decrease, or it like it influences buying, selling, and Shadowrun payments. This is all your combat skills. That's your basic attributes. Another thing you have to keep in mind is the more cybernetic implants you buy for yourself, the lower your essence is going to be, which only really matters if you're a shaman. You want a really high essence. Then you got cyberware, magic, pocket secretary. The game lets you keep a notebook, which will have notes about progress you're making in the story, so you can keep track of where you're at. Group items. I believe group items are like the really important, vital, like plot items. Cyber deck is how you check out your cyber deck. And then you can save and load here. You can also check how much money you have at the bottom there. So I need to raise 250. Combat in this is... It's real-time combat. And you will see what I mean here eventually, because you get attacked pretty fast. Certain bars you go to might have Shadowrunners you can hire for a certain amount of money, and they might also have something called Mr. Johnsons. Mr. Johnsons are guys you can get information from, and you can get work from them. Rat's Nest, Little Chiba. Yeah. So this is a good way to get money early on. It's also the main way you're going to get karma, because upon completion of a run or a job, you'll get money and you also get karma. And the more difficult the job is, yeah, the more difficult the job is, the more you'll get paid and the more karma you can earn. Yeah, it's kind of rough early on, unless you're a samurai. Okay, I think that's the Rat's Nest. Yeah. And then you have to go to Little Chiba, which is the clinic. And then you get paid and you get your karma upon completion. And then you can... Well, here's the store. This is Ares Weapon Emporium. You can buy different guns and armor, equipment, like clips. You can accessorize your gun. Select a firearm. You can get different accessories that can help increase accuracy, or like a silencer you can put on your gun. You can sell items here. Just a little bit of a tip. With med kits, you can sell them for a base amount of 100, no matter how many uses they still have. So you can use like this 5 times, and then sell it and make a little bit of money back from it. I like the music. Jump House, Jackal's Lantern. Okay, that's easy. That's easy. How much do I have? 230. I'll do one more job and then be on my way. Halloweeners, Little Chiba. No. Little Chiba, Jump House. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, money's going to be tight early on. I mean, money pretty much through the whole game is tight, because especially if you're a decker, well, even if you're not a decker, money will be pretty tight, because you have to constantly upgrade your cyber deck. No idea what I picked up. Wait, where was I going? Oh, Little Chiba. That's right. Yeah, I'll do one more job. Then I'll go back to the hotel. But yeah, so the game is kind of grindy, like the Super Nintendo version, except it's grindy in a different way. Having to do jobs over and over again to make money. Eventually, with decking, you'll be able to make really good money, but it's still the issue of karma, because you still need to earn a lot of karma. Gave me some money. Okay, so I'll show you how the cyber combat works. It's completely different to the Super Nintendo one. So here you go to cyberspace. If you have a passcode, which I don't have any yet, you can just go to that particular system. But right now we'll have to do system search, which will randomly find a system somewhere. Okay. So this is more like a classic turn-based RPG type thing. You have different skills you can use. Oh. Starting off, you're not going to be very good at decking. But this is a type of ICE, which stands for like intrusive countermeasure something. I forget. But it's basically how the system keeps people out that aren't supposed to be in the system. They can get really difficult. They can get really very difficult. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through this. Oh, maybe. Very slowly, I might be able to. But your cyber combat success will depend on certain skills that you can increase using karma. You increase your karma by resting at any of the motels or inns. Passive alert. Yeah, if it gets to active alert, then you're in trouble. Yep. So now it's going to start attacking me. And if you lose all your health in cyberspace, then it's basically your mental health. Your mental health is taking damage. And if all your mental health is gone, you will die and you'll be taken to a hospital. I don't think I'm getting through this. No. Not gonna happen. Yeah, I would need to increase my cyber combat skills. Okay. So what you can do is if you're not doing good, you can jack out and get out of the system. Unless you're dealing with something called a tar ice, which if you run into a tar ice, you're in serious trouble because the tar ice will start attacking you, the person, rather than your avatar. And then you're in for a rough time. And oh. That's bad. I'm not hitting anything. Okay, how about we just leave? Yeah, you can escape by running far away from them and entering a building. Yeah. So you stay here and you'll heal a little bit, but the only way to really consistently heal is to go to a clinic or have a magic user who has a healing spell. Um, okay. But there's a bunch of different buildings you can go into. If you go into certain buildings like this, it's an abandoned building. Um, then you're going to run into some pretty nasty enemies. Mostly enemies called ghouls, which are sort of like they're like undead kinda. But on the video phone, if you have a number, you can call people. But you can call a taxi. There's only one place you can't get to unless you have a pass. You can't get to you can't get to Council Island unless you have a pass. And I would show you. Oh yeah, there are random events that you might run into. and what happens depends on your choices, and it could also depend on one of your skills. So if you have like a high charisma or like a high negotiation, you can like smooth talk your way out of some stuff. But you also have cops who might stop you if you have an illegal weapon. So an illegal weapon is anything other than a pistol. So any kind of shotgun, SMG is illegal. So you might get caught. This is all your cybernetic implants, your cyberware. They're very, very expensive, especially wired reflexes. I'm not gonna buy anything though. There's also a feature in the game where you can break into like corporate buildings, and you have like a bunch of security people there and like cameras that if they see you and you'll get caught, and an alarm will go off and security will just keep attacking you. I don't think I'll be able to show you that in this review. That's one of the sort of mid-level or high-level type jobs. So I don't think I'll be able to show you that. I'm gonna see if I can do any better this time. You can also buy better cyber decks, and you can buy upgrades to your cyber deck. Increase like storage space and stuff like that. You can buy new abilities like at the bottom here. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna happen. I was gonna try to show you what it's like getting deeper into a system. I'm not sure I'll be able to because I'm not good enough right now. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you'll make progress slowly as you progress, but once you start making like significant progress, you can definitely tell a difference from how it used to be. It's a very slow and expensive, time-consuming process. I would get deeper into how combat and cyber combat works, but we'd be here like an hour going over what all this stuff is and like strategies that you can use. I'm actually doing not bad. I'm just not doing much damage. You can also do 3 different attacks with the attack skill, but as far as I know, there isn't any difference between the 3. Doubt I will be able to make more progress. Oh, that worked. Oh. Okay, so the square nodes are data storage, and they are important. They're important, and I'll show you why. Security files. So if you transfer data, you may find some data. Okay, well, I'll just get out of here. Once you have some data, what you can do is this building right here. If you go in, he will buy data from you if it's good. Not all data is worth any amount of money. Okay, so that one I got was 2,000 new yen. So that's how you can make a lot of money. You can make really good money by doing that. But yeah, that's Shadowrun for the Super Nintendo. Or Sega Genesis. Sorry. Oh no, you need a visa to get to Salish today. You can go to Council Island without a passport. But yeah, that's Shadowrun. Oh no. Oh no. Well, that's a great way to end the... Anyway, how much money did I lose? Not much. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna give this a rating of 10. So this is gonna be my first 10-star rating. It's a really good RPG, and it's one I wish more people knew about, because hardly anybody really knows about this game. It's really fun. Doing the different jobs that you can do. Hacking into cyber systems, and trying desperately to try to get like data that you can sell, and then taking the data to the guy and hoping that it's good data that he'll actually buy, and just making the slow progress as you progress through the game, because there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff that you can upgrade, and you know, once you start making considerable progress, everything becomes a lot smoother, especially cyber combat. The story's really good. I would say that the story in this one is better than the Super Nintendo one, and there's not just one story path in the game. There's actually 2. Both paths ultimately go to the same place, but it just depends on like certain actions you take. I mean, you could do one path or both, but yeah, it's a really good RPG. It's one of my favorites. I would highly recommend it if you want to play a good RPG. But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. hope you have a wonderful day. God bless, and I will see you in the next video.